biologist and conservationist Dan O'Neill. That is a big animal.
My mission is to find, film, and measure the planet's biggest living animals.
He's massive. And ultimately, find out how to protect them.
They may be big,
Hello.
but even these giants evolved from much, much bigger ancestors. Using the latest scientific data, we're going to bring these extinct species back to life, understand their evolutionary secrets, and discover why these immense ancient animals died out. This time, I'm setting out to find a modern-day record breaker. Smart, powerful, and the largest land mammal on the planet, the African elephant. Some males can still reach an incredible size. To understand how they evolved, we need to look back down their family tree. Heading back 30,000 years to meet a giant that would dwarf the African elephants of today. This is the enormous straight-tusked elephant. Up to 6 feet taller. 3 times as heavy. A giant among mammals. And some say the largest to ever have walked the earth. What allowed straight-tusked elephants to get so massive? Why did they die out? And what can we learn from this mighty ancestor to protect the giant elephants of today? I'm off to Africa to find out. My mission to find the biggest elephants on Earth has brought me to Botswana. Ever since I was little, I've been fascinated by the natural world. And as a field biologist, I've been lucky to travel the planet, meeting some weird and wonderful creatures.
Otter.
But this search for giants has brought me to Africa for the very first time, on the trail of one of my favorite animals. But I've never actually seen an elephant up close in the wild, and it's been a dream of mine ever since I was a kid. To find out how these African giants get so big, I'm starting at the very beginning of their life story. This is Elephant Havens, a rescue center for orphaned and injured young elephants.
Hey, Mofa. Good boy, come here. Come here, boy. Can I have your bottle?
I'm joining senior handler Onks Motama for feeding time.
Good boy. Yes, good boy.
Hello.
Some cup?
Hey, buddy. Wow.
Good boy.
You're a funny little guy, aren't you?
You're not such a little guy. What's his name?
His name is Mofaludi.
Mofalodi.
Mofaludi means survivor.
2 years ago, hundreds of elephants in the region died after drinking contaminated water. Miraculously, this little guy survived and was rescued and brought here.
Hey, survivor.
That's a 2-liter bottle. They get it to each and every 3 hours. Good boy.
These big babies drink up to 3 gallons in a day.
There's none left. It's gone. It's gone. I'm
Good
sorry.
boy.
There you go. Oh, you are so amazing.
Young elephants like Survivor start foraging from 4 months old, using one of the most versatile noses in the animal kingdom. Your trunk is incredible.
It is. With elephants, you see, they got these muscles. They got like 40 to 50,000 in their trunk.
40 to 50,000 muscles.
Only in a trunk.
That's mind-blowing. We have just 650 muscles in our entire body.
How old is little survivor here?
This survivors 2 years, 3 months.
He's hitching his ear.
Each year.
God, I wish I had a trunk and I could hitch my ear like that. He's 2 years old.
2 years.
He's a
He is 4
giant.
months. He's still a young baby.
It's all gone, mate. There's none left. I know, I want some more too. Oh, there's none left. There's none left. Bye, survivor.
Goodbye, boy. I love you.
I love you.
Incredibly, baby elephants gain up to 25 pounds a week. Like male Cholofello. He was found alone and ravenous. He's now the biggest in the herd.
Cholofello means hope. He's 3 years, 4 months.
What do you think the future holds for this guy?
The future for this boy, after 45 to 50 years, we will be happy to see him roaming around with other young boys, teaching them how to be a man. That will be good to come across him in that age.
He's coming to say hello.
He's a good boy.
Hey,
You
Cholofello.
can see,
But even 1-ton Cholofello has got a long way to go to become one of Earth's largest land mammals. While humans stop growing as teenagers, these giants can continue their entire lives, increasing in size by almost 4,000% from birth to adulthood. These youngsters will be released into a reserve when they reach 5 years old. Till then, Onks has his hands full.
in 24 hours, they eat 18 hours in a day.
18 hours.
18 hours in a day.
And using that trunk, they can drink up to 2 gallons at a time.
The closer I get to these elephants, the stranger they seem. It's clear that these giants have gone through an incredible evolutionary journey.
The story begins 60 million years ago, shortly after the extinction of the dinosaurs. Small and adaptable early mammals survived and began evolving into specialized herbivores. One species developed dexterous lips and an extended nose to gather leaves. Erytherium fed on rich vegetation in the swamps of northern Africa. It stood just 8 inches high, but marked the start of a new order of animals, the proboscideans.
Millions of years of evolutionary pressure allowed the proboscideans to grow slowly, finally evolving into a long nose and a distinct, bulky body.
This shape is what we see in modern-day elephants. But the exponential growth from squirrel-sized mammals to the giants of today required a huge increase in appetite.
To deal with such a massive volume of food, a large proportion of the elephant's body has to be dedicated to digestion. But how does such a massive animal get the energy it needs just from plants?
To break down fibrous plant tissue, an elephant's digestive system is enormous, making up around 1/5 of their total body weight when full. An adult stomach alone can hold over 14 gallons of food before it's transferred to the 50-foot-long small intestine.
But it's only when food reaches the next stage that digestion really begins. The secret weapon in the elephant's digestive system is the cecum.
Reaching over 6 foot long, this section of hindgut can hold an incredible 20 gallons. It's filled with microscopic bacteria that can break down the cellulose, starch, fats, and protein in plant cells, turning the cecum into a giant fermentation tank, releasing nutrients and energy from the 70,000 calories an elephant eats each day. The cecum's so important to an elephant's digestion that over 10% of the total body weight is dedicated to this one organ.
Everything about how an elephant eats is big, like a conveyor belt for vegetation. This evolutionary strategy takes a lot of time and effort, but it means that when times are tough, elephants can survive on foods that a lot of animals can't.
But despite this adaptation, African elephants are far from invincible. Over the last century, poaching and conflict with man has caused the population to plummet from 10 million to around 400,000.
Hey, guys.
Making each orphan saved a big win for the species.
All of these elephants had really bad starts to their lives. But now that they're here, they have a pretty good shot at going out into the wild. And it's amazing to think how big they are now. But they've got a lot more growing to do. And one day, elephants like Cholofellow could be one of the real giants of the world. Hello. Oh my God, they're everywhere.
Tearing up vegetation, dispersing plant seeds and creating corridors for other animals, elephants shape Africa's wild spaces. And some individuals leave a giant mark on the landscape. The very biggest elephants on Earth are known as super tuskers. They can reach a humongous size, but it's their tusks that set them apart. Weighing 100 pounds each, so long they can touch the ground. No other living elephants have these giant tusks, making these males more attractive to females and giving them the genetic edge. But their huge ivory teeth make these giants the prime target for poachers. Single giant tusks have fetched $100,000, while rangers fight against this illegal trade. Today, less than 30 super tuskers are thought to exist in all of Africa. So I'm continuing my journey to the only place I stand a decent chance of finding one. Kenya and the Amboseli Tsavo ecosystem. 7 million acres of wilderness. Home to around 16,000 elephants. But only a very small percentage of these will be super tuskers.
If I'm going to find a super tusker, I need to understand where it lives. And the best way to do that is to see it from above.
I'm meeting Craig Miller, Chief Operating Officer of Big Life.
All right.
Hiya, how you doing?
I'm good.
His conservation organization monitors and protects elephants in a small section of Amboseli.
This is a snug ride.
Yeah, once you're in, there's no getting out.
How long have you been flying this plane?
About 6 years now.
All right, okay.
Plenty of experience, don't
There we
worry.
go.
Only one crash.
Funny.
En route to headquarters, Craig's conducting a daily aerial survey to check elephant numbers and movements.
Yeah, boy. Let's go.
The search is on.
Can you hear me?
I can indeed, my friend.
All right. Cool, ready when you are.
Okay. Ready to go. Wow. It's pretty spectacular. I'm flying over Amboseli now. I'm very cramped in the back here. Ooh!
Here we go.
It's hard to fathom it from the ground, but as soon as you're up here, you realize just how massive this landscape is and how hard they are to find.
I'll be concentrating my search for a giant in a smaller part of the Amboseli region, where Big Life patrol.
The total area we try and kind of keep an eye on is about 1.5 million acres.
1.5 million acres. And how many elephants are there in the whole area?
There's about 2,000 that come in and out. You can see some elephant up ahead of us.
Wow, I see them.
These are all boys, young bulls.
Wow, they are huge.
Massive.
And these aren't the super tuskers.
No, they're average, not even.
So how many super tuskers are there in the area?
There are a confirmed 5.
5 animals in an area 9 times the size of New York City. Super tuskers might be huge, but in this landscape, they're a needle in a haystack.
Are you feeling all right?
Ooh,
Do you want to open this? It'll make you feel a lot better.
Yeah, let's take that for a spin. Oh wow, well, yeah, that does feel better.
Nice, yeah.
I was gonna throw up, and you don't want that all over your mind, so.
Finding a super tusker feels like an impossible task, but I'm not going to be searching alone.
So this is headquarters.
Yeah. Headquarters just over there.
The information Big Life keeps here is top secret. In the wrong hands, it could be devastating for the region's elephants. But Craig's granted me special access.
Welcome to headquarters.
Okay.
Essentially the nerve center.
This operations room is manned 24/7, gathering intelligence.
This essentially is feeding information from rangers. You can hear the radio in the background. So all that information is relayed into here, where it gets stored on this central database. You need to be able to know where the poachers are, where they're targeting, where the elephant are, where are the problems.
When was the last time you had a poaching incident?
Over 5 years since a trophy poaching incident.
That's incredible.
And the elephant population is the highest it's ever been in Amboseli.
So this system could help me on my mission as well?
Exactly.
That still sounds like a tall order.
It's not easy. It's not easy, but you've got the resources of 250 rangers feeding in information, 15 vehicles, 2 aircraft, a couple of tracker dogs, 25 plus motorbikes.
Yeah, you've got me excited.
You're in really good hands with our rangers there, and they'll be able to help you out.
With access to Big Life's live intel and rangers, my chances of finding a super tusker out here just got a massive boost. And if we can find a giant, I'm going to attempt to measure it.
So I've bought this piece of kit, which is stuck to the bottom of my camera, which will allow me to do laser photogrammetry. It sounds really complicated, but it's really not. It's just 2 laser pens stuck at a fixed width. They'll create 2 dots, which I can use as a scale to estimate the elephant's height at its shoulder.
It's time to put it to the test. So armed with the latest information from HQ, I'm heading to an area known as Kamana Sanctuary, a hotspot for elephant activity. I'm joining Jeremy Goss, one of Big Life's conservation scientists.
So what makes Amboseli so special for elephants?
So Amboseli is a bit of a geological accident. Mount Kilimanjaro, obviously a volcano. The water that falls on that mountain as rain and snow all drains off and into the earth and then comes up again as springs that sustain these elephants in what would otherwise be a desert. It's extraordinary. At this time of the day, they'd be wanting to head into the swamplands to go and feed for the day.
We make our way towards these feeding grounds, hoping to spot a herd en route.
Oh, there we go. Just over the horizon.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, I see. Woohoo!
We can't see any super tuskers, but this is a great opportunity to get a photo I can use later to find the elephant's size.
We'll hop out the vehicle, the front of the car, and stay as low as we can, which will give us a good low angle for taking the photographs.
Okay.
Elephant families live in matriarchal herds of up to 70 animals. This one's about 40 strong.
Remember, stay close. That's a female. She's huge. She's a big.
Females can weigh up to 4 tons, 2 tons lighter than the biggest males. Though this one's clearly the matriarch, the herd's decision maker.
See how she's stopped now? Yeah, she's wary of us. Ears a little bit out. Move slowly.
God, there's something kind of scary about turning my back on her. She's looking right at me.
These giants need to be treated with respect. They'll charge if they feel threatened. And they're now within 40 feet. Finally, they're coming into the perfect position to photograph.
Right. Okay, I'm gonna give this a go.
You want to wait until their ears
flap forward ID. There you can see her shoulder height quite nicely. Okay, please don't walk towards me. Everything's cool, man. Oh, this is absolutely ideal.
But elephants now surround the vehicle. A young male clocks us as I take his photo.
This is a young bull. Okay, he's interested. Yes, I mean, like, you're very calm, but his interest is a little bit scary to me. Yeah, so you just want to be still and quiet. You can, if you want, just move close to the vehicle. I can't believe it. They will send us now.
But the matriarch decides it's time to move on.
That was so magic. You completely surrounded. That was a very unusually beautiful way to see them. It's quite an emotional experience being so close to animals like that.
Time to see if one of my photos worked.
Okay, here we go. This one's the one, I think. Perfect. This is the perfect shot.
It's the young male I photographed.
Using these 2 points from the laser as a scale, I can measure just how tall this elephant is. And this one is 7 foot 9 inches tall, which is already towering above me. But that's not all we can do. I can actually put this measurement into a formula that will let me calculate its weight.
For the rangers at Big Life, this is revolutionary.
It's amazing.
Which we can do right now. So
Using a picture.
This formula, from an elephant body mass expert, can help rangers Salash, Job, and Daniel accurately measure wild elephants.
this elephant, based on that, is around about 2.7 tons, which is huge. How old would you say he is?
Actually around 20s.
20s?
Yeah. Yeah, he's an aspiring super tusker.
How much taller are the biggest super tuskers?
10 feet. 10 feet, yeah.
10
feet.
10 feet tall, so more than 2 feet taller.
That's 2 feet taller than this guy.
That's mad. That's up there.
Yeah.
How heavy can the heaviest super tuskers get in Albacete?
The adult male can weigh up to 5-point-something tons.
Over 5 tons?
Yeah.
Up to almost 6 tons.
That's insane.
He's just a young boy.
But this is a massive elephant.
No. We have not yet met elephants.
All right, fair enough.
If we find him, we use the same formula to know his weight.
Yeah, exactly. Now that I know this works, we can actually do that.
Using as a photo.
Now we've got to find one. Thank you, guys. Cheers. Thanks.
It's hard to imagine, but prehistoric Earth supported elephants even bigger than the colossal African super tuskers. To find out more, I'm recruiting the help of paleontologist Asia Laramendi, a world-leading expert in prehistoric elephants. Fascinated by how and why they got so big, he spent a decade investigating this group of giant ancestors.
So when exactly did the straight-tusked elephant live?
They lived during Pleistocene, which is from about 2.5 million years ago and 20,000 years ago. That's when it was the golden age of megafauna. The African elephant average size, it's about 3.2 meters at the shoulders, and they weigh up to 6 tons in mass. However, this is not so impressive if we are taking into account the extinct relatives. For instance, Paleoloxodon, the striped-tusked elephant, could weigh much more than this. And in the Indian subcontinent, we have probably the largest of all, known as Paleoloxodon namadicus. It's nearly 3 times of the body mass of fully grown bull African elephant, and 1.5 meters taller than African elephants. That's amazing. Incredible creatures.
Nearly 5 meters. That's like a house.
Yeah, as tall as giraffe.
That's insane.
Yeah. It's incredible.
Would the straight-tusked elephant be able to survive in this habitat here today?
would be difficult because they'll need tons and tons of grass. Nowadays, there is not so much grass, so it would be really difficult for a striped-tusked elephant to live in nowadays Africa. But also there is another important factor that the global temperature was lower, so they have more food resources.
All right, so let me get this straight. The ancestors of elephants that got absolutely massive, they needed huge amounts of land to walk on. And as the temperatures were cooler around the world, that meant that their food type, grasses, were favored instead of trees like today. So they had loads of food to eat, and it allowed them to get really, really big.
Yeah, that's correct.
Having gathered some insights into the lives of Super Tusker's ancient relatives, I'm back on the search for a giant. But I wish I was looking for their ancestors in cooler times, because the heat here is intense. This has got to be one of the most unbearably hot places I've ever been in my life. This is my first time in Africa, and the sun is just so direct and so powerful, and I'm drinking so much water, because as quite a small mammal, the main strategy that I'm using to lose heat is through transpiration or evaporation of the water off my skin. But these massive, large-bodied mammals right next to us, the elephants, they have a slightly different strategy as to how they cope. Unlike most other mammals like us, elephants don't have sweat glands covering their bodies, which would allow them to harness the power of evaporative cooling. So how do these giants lose unwanted heat? I've got my hands on a thermal imaging camera to help me find out.
One of the major regulation strategies they have is that their ears are so big, and they're really good at diffusing heat into the environment around them. They're such a large-bodied animal, and to keep their internal organs cool, which is really, really important, they'll move their blood to specific pockets. So when you look through this thermal camera, you can actually see small pockets of the elephants that are warmer than any other parts of the body. And that's because they're moving their blood to those specific points, so the heat is dissipated and their organs stay cool.
But new research has discovered something even more exciting going on. The secret lies in their skin. A labyrinth of cracks just micrometers wide hold up to 10 times more water than a flat skin surface, dramatically increasing their cooling power.
When they spray water, those wrinkles kind of act like little tiny rivers all over their body that retain that water, almost like a sponge, and that will stay in the skin for a much longer period than if they had kind of skin like us.
This water absorbs the heat carried in blood as it's pumped close to the skin's surface. As the water evaporates, it allows the heat to dissipate. Their sponge-like skin is the biggest organ in their body. It can weigh close to a ton, keeping them cool when the mercury pushes past 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Asya thinks even their giant ancestors had the same wrinkly skin and big ears. So could elephants today ever reach the proportions of Paleoloxodon pneumaticus?
Well, I will say that that would be quite difficult because the nowadays climate is different to that of the past. For instance, during the late Pleistocene, the global temperature was about 5 to 6 degrees lower, and this is a very important factor. Very large animals actually have problems to transfer heat. This is because the larger you become, the relative lower surface you will have to dissipate your heat.
Asya's research shows that today's warmer temperatures limit how big the African elephant can get. But Paleoloxodon pneumaticus lived in a climate 5 to 6 degrees Celsius or 9 to 10 degrees Fahrenheit cooler, so could take its size to extremes without overheating.
To call them giants is a bit of understatement. They were humongous. They were colossal. They were ginormous.
Research proved it had a heart weighing more than a human. Its head weighed the same as a rhino, and their brains were huge.
Actually, the largest brain ever recorded in mammalian history. The largest specimens of striped-tusked elephants could have had brains of over 20 pounds in weight. This is actually nearly 8 times heavier than that of human. And just like modern elephants, striped-tusked elephants need big brains to learn how to win females, and as a consequence, to survive.
Even elephants today have huge brains relative to their body size, which brings with it the intelligence and family connection we see in any elephant herd. As I continue on my search for a giant, I spot an elephant family hiding something really special.
Go closer.
Yeah, I think so. It's not a super tusker, but could not resist stopping for these guys. It's a mother and what I thought was 2 kind of adolescent elephants. But just underneath, on the left, underneath their legs, is a tiny baby. I say tiny, when they come out they're over 200 pounds, which is about a third heavier than me.
And even before these giant babies are born, they've already been on an incredible journey.
But then you look over to the side at the mother and you realize she's so massive, and where that baby has to come out of is pretty high up. So being born by such a tall mother presents its own challenges.
Mother elephants have a unique evolutionary trick. They have a vestibulum. It's a 4-foot-long internal chute connecting the womb to the outside world. This allows the newborn elephants to slide further down before exiting the birth canal with just a few feet to fall.
They're just wandering off into the bushes, and you can see the baby disappearing underneath the mum. That camouflage is actually quite important. The mum, she's massive, and she can avoid being eaten. But when you're that small, you are still at risk from things like lions around here. So being born as big as possible is really important.
Their long legs mean baby elephants can keep up with the herd when they're just 2 days old.
Our family has joined this massive herd, and there are loads and loads of little babies everywhere. Salash, how long does it take for the babies to be born?
The gestation period for an elephant is 22 months.
22 months?
Yeah.
Nearly 2 years?
Yeah, almost 2 years.
Wow. How long between pregnancies does it take for a female to have another?
Between 4 to 7 years.
So that is a lot of investment. They must be incredibly protective of the babies.
Yeah, definitely. They're very protective of their babies. You can see the whole family surrounds the baby.
Yeah, they become invisible. You get little glimpses of them, and you never see them on their own.
Yeah.
Even with the herd's protection, around 1/3 of baby elephants don't make it through their first year. With so much time and energy put into producing giant offspring, could this risky strategy have led to the downfall of the even larger straight-tusked elephant?
There is a general rule that if you are a very large animal, you need more time in the womb. Straight-tusked elephant females will need to invest huge amount of energy to just produce one newborn. Sudden change, like in climate, can kill baby elephants because they are more vulnerable. If you lose the babies, the population is on risk. It's a domino effect. Giant mammals are the most vulnerable to sudden changes.
And what Asia found was if you have a long life cycle, you need stable conditions. But unfortunately for Paleoloxodon, 70,000 years ago, the climate cooled dramatically.
This makes the habitat reduce drastically, and as a result, less food for the striped-tusked elephants.
But megafauna, like the straight-tusked elephant, had survived other climate cycles. So what changed this time?
In the last 2.5 million years ago, humans and striped-tusked elephants actually lived together. As humans gained the ability to hunt with weapons, striped tusked elephants become an easy target. It's believed that humans drove the final nail in the coffin.
And unfortunately, this is one of the biggest issues our giant elephants face today. As human populations expand in this area, people and elephants are coming into contact more often. Some of the super tuskers are known as crop raiders. Under the cover of darkness, they break onto agricultural farmland in search of easy meals. Despite the rangers' attempts to deter them using non-harmful thunder flashes, the resulting conflict with rural communities can be devastating. Just 2 weeks before our filming, one of the biggest tuskers in the area, Tolstoy, died from injuries inflicted by being hit with a spear. He's just one of 37 elephant deaths caused by human conflict here in the last decade. But the local people are also being affected by their giant neighbors. We head to a local Maasai village to meet Maria. 18 months ago, she had an elephant encounter she'll never forget. Thanks so much for speaking to me, Maria. Are you all right to tell me what happened to you?
Tulienda kuni, tukaenda kurokota kuni. Wakati tukienda porini, tukakutana na ndovu. Ilitukimbiza, wakati ilikuwa inataka kunidunga na meno, kanisukumia ndani ya miti. Ndio sasa nikafunjika mguu. Nilistuka sana. Na kwa sasa bado sijapona, bado naumwa. Sitokage ndani ya nyumba.
What was your relationship with elephants like before this happened?
Sikuwa naogopa sana, tulikuwa tunapishana tu tukienda kuni, tukichota maji, lakini wakati huu nimeogopa ndovu sana. Hata nikiwaonaga hata wakipita hivi naingia ndani ya nyumba kwa sababu naogopa sana. Nimepata wasiwasi sana, hata nasikia roho si mzuri kwa sababu watoto saa zingine wananihitaji. Hakuna kazi naisafanya kwa sababu mguu umefunjika na bado haijapona mpaka wa leo. Kwa hivyo imebadilisha maisha yangu sana.
What do your community feel about elephants since your accident?
Kwa hivyo hata sasa wakienda tu porini ama wakiona wakipita hapa, wanaogopa na wote wanajua maana ya ndovu kwa sababu wanajua inaleta faida, saa zingine inaleta hasara kwa sababu inaisaua. Hata kama walinifunja mguu, mimi bado tunawapenda, lakini ninaogopa tu, lakini napenda tu watu wakikaa na wanyama kwa sababu iko na faida yake. Lakini ninawapenda sana. Mimi napenda wanyama na nikuogopa tu ndio nimeogopa.
It's hard to understand when you're, thousands of miles across the world how difficult it can be to live alongside a giant animal like an elephant, because what happened to her just while she was carrying some wood, something that she does every day, who has been literally destroyed by an elephant, you totally get it. Elephants are endangered, going extinct in some parts of their range, and we should protect them. But when you're living directly alongside an animal that has the capability to kill you, saving elephants, I think, is a little bit more complicated than a lot of people might think on the surface. The next morning, time is ticking away on my mission to find a super tusker. But at last, there's news from Big Life HQ.
We've just had word that one of the biggest super tuskers has been spotted really, really close. But he's moving quite quickly into an area where if he goes, we have no chance of tracking him. So we've got to get there as quickly as possible.
We're heading to his last sighting coordinates. A small open area 3 miles away on the eastern edge of Kamana Sanctuary. Finally, I have our giant in sight.
I can see which one he is.
He's right in front.
The super-sized super tusker.
If you can edge closer to him. Yeah? That guy in the middle is clearly our tusker.
Moving north with 3 other large males. My first super tusker, known to the rangers as Craig.
Oh my God, he's coming over to us. What the hell is happening? Those tusks are absolutely massive. Look at that.
Craig is currently a similar height to the other males in the group, but he's still growing. He'll soon tower over them. But one of his features is already giant, setting him apart from the herd, his telltale huge tusks. Of the 5 super tuskers Big Life protect, Craig is estimated to have the biggest tusks of them all. He's in the top 10% of all surviving super tuskers. What an incredible beast.
It's such a strange situation. I don't really often find myself feeling speechless. Do you know what's kind of strange is that how delicate their movements are for something so absolutely massive.
But an elephant's 6-foot stride is not to be underestimated. In a matter of minutes, we're losing them into a patch of forest. This is as far as me and Daniel can follow them.
God, it's lucky we got here when we did. It's just there, and they're gone. Is it safe to get out of the car?
Yeah, it is. It's fine.
Where are they going now?
The boys now are heading to the boundary.
So why can't we follow them in?
We're almost at the end of the sanctuary, and on the other side is farms. So if we keep following them, we might disturb them and push them to the wrong side.
Because that's obviously the worst position they can get in, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. That was amazing. Thank you.
Yeah. Much good.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
It was incredible to see my first super tusker. But he was moving too quickly for me to get my all-important photo.
We lost them so fast, and if I'm going to measure a super tusker, which is why I've come here, so I'm going to have to come back. It's not over yet.
Next morning, we're straight back out into the reserve. And we're in luck.
So, we've found Craig. He's a bit obscured behind these trees, and he's in this group of bulls, but there's no clear way we're going to be able to get over there, and definitely not be able to take a picture from the shoulder down to the feet. So we're going to go round the side, hopefully get a bit closer to him in an open area. That's the plan.
As the herd moves off, Craig comes into view.
We need to orient this car, so I'm pointing at Craig.
This time, he comes within 6 foot of the vehicle.
Okay, stop.
And he's even more imposing.
God. That is a big animal.
But knowing how quickly they can disappear, I'm not wasting any time.
Basically, we're trying to angle ourselves so we're on the other side, because if I'm going to be able to get this picture of him, then I have to get him square on the side. Right. Perfect.
Stop.
Okay. Oh, thank you, Craig.
I've got the shot. And because Craig's now alone, it presents me and Salash with a unique opportunity.
I think we can go out.
We can get out of the car.
Yeah, he's very okay with people. He's alone. He's a calm boy.
When he's alone, Craig will apparently allow us in his space on foot.
You sure this is all right?
It's safe as long as we stay near the vehicle.
Actually, you're going first. But I can't actually believe that this is okay. When you're this low down, I can't even describe what this feels like.
He may be a calm boy, but he's quick to remind us to respect his space.
Okay. Okay, we've got to come back. He's facing us. Yeah? Hello. He's very calm. He doesn't look all that calm. I'm like shaking, my legs are shaking. But look at his tusks. It's one thing being in a car and driving alongside elephants. They're formidable and you feel that in your heart. But it's a completely different feeling being on the ground, walking less than 30 feet with one of the last remaining super tuskers in Africa. But it definitely makes you realize they are just gentle and they don't want to fight us. They just want us to leave them alone.
The team knows Craig is 50 years old, but just how big is he?
It's finally time. The two little laser beams. Okay, so that's our scale, and it allows us to measure this up. And his height at the shoulder from this image is 9.2 feet.
9.4 feet, wow.
Right? You've never been able to measure how heavy they are, right? So based on the calculation, right, based on the formula from his height at the shoulder, he's over 4.5 tons.
Over.
Yeah.
Over 4.5.
Yeah.
That makes him 2 foot taller and twice as heavy as the first elephant I measured. A true gigantic super tusker. And he's still growing, even his massive tusks.
But I think what the coolest thing is, from what you guys are saying, you don't get to measure their tusks when they're alive.
Yeah.
Okay, so where would you measure the tusks to? So you can see this clearly here. How far up would that go into his head?
They just go like closer to the eyes, like
Close
here.
to the eye.
Okay.
You see where the eye is?
Oh, really? So quite far? Quite far, okay. All right, so using this says that Craig's tusks are over 7 feet long. Over 7 feet tall. Which is pretty incredible. Who's the tallest of us? Let's have a look.
Here.
All right, you gonna stand next to me? Yeah, it's definitely not you guys, sorry. Come on, Super Tusker. All right. So he's taller than you, right?
Taller than you.
How tall are you?
6'5".
6'5"?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, right, that's a pretty massive human.
Yeah.
He's... His tusks are longer than you are tall. Amazing. I'd love to know how much they would weigh.
And based on my calculations, Ranger Daniel can make a pretty accurate guess.
The short tusk is over 100 pounds and the longer is 110 pounds.
So together, over 200 pounds?
Yeah.
210 pounds?
Sure.
I'm like 150 pounds.
Sure.
With the biggest tusks in the region, Craig's a prime specimen of Earth's largest living land mammal. And a surprisingly gentle giant of our time. Before we head home, I get to see Craig one last time.
There is something very hair-raising about
being square on with that. The evolution of African elephants like Craig here is a journey of adaptation that's been unfolding for millions of years. Everything about him, from his enormous digestive system to the intricate folds in his skin, is built for being big. But to see the return of elephants the size of Craig's straight-tusked ancestors, his descendants are going to need something that his ancestors had: land, and huge amounts of it, full of the food that they need to survive. But these habitats must also be safe. And I'm relieved that here, at least, the work being done to protect them is already making a difference.
See you later, Craig.